Hello everyone, what's up? It's Vandiril here, and today we're gonna discuss the super game-breaking bug that recently actually happened in a competitive game, and it happened in NA LCS. So I'm gonna start by actually rolling the clip of the bug that happened in the LCS. Listen to that.
Already Febiven has to go answer the top side minions.
Yeah, Huni again gonna cut off Solo. But Wave is gonna fall down, Apollo forward! Looking to try and get some damage done. But
We entered the Matrix!
But I said it was deja vu already.
Well, as you can see, the game froze, and you may be wondering what happened next. In case you didn't watch that game, I'm gonna spoil that to you. So for roughly 30 minutes, Riot tried to recover the game, but it turned out that the game completely crashed, and it wasn't able to be recovered with the Chrono Break, the system that Riot recently implemented to recover those games. So there were only two things that could have been done in this case. So first, they could have just remade the game and start from the very beginning. So obviously it would damage the Echo Fogs that were massively ahead. But what Riot did, and I believe it actually happened for the first time, at least I cannot remember it happening before, is that they forfeited the game and granted Echo Fogs the win. I mean, it's fully understandable to me that considering how far ahead Echo Fox was, that they got granted the win, but of course if I were Clutch Gaming players I would be super pissed. And actually many people were super surprised or disgusted by this decision, but considering those two available options and considering how far ahead Echo Fox was, all in all it was more fair to grant Echo Fox win than to actually remake the game. Because considering how far ahead they were and that their comp was probably better, that even if they actually managed to kill Huni, it was still rather unlikely for them to come back. I would say that at best Clutch Gaming would have had like few % chance to win that game, and it would actually require Echo Fox to throw this game super hard. So unlikely to happen, but of course it's not ideal to end the game this way. So because of this bug, Taliyah and Karthus Jungle are currently both unavailable to play in Pro Play with Smite. So you cannot go Taliyah jungle or Karthus jungle, but you can still play them in other lanes. And you can actually see here a video from LCK. They had games today and they were unable to pick both of them, as you can see in the message at the bottom of the screen and as you can hear from the casters.
Guys, very important new information in the middle of your screen. Taliyah and Karthus, and this is all off the back of the Clutch Gaming vs Echo Fox game in the NALCS. Taliyah and Karthus can both be played, but crucially, the mid lane Karthus with Smite, with the Nunu strategy, Taliyah jungle, both of those are actually no longer available.
So that was a pretty long intro for a bug video. So in this video I'm gonna try to explain the bug as best as I can, and I'm gonna try to explain why both Taliyah and Karthus jungle got disabled from Pro Play. So as you probably know, playing Karthus with Smite got pretty popular recently, especially because of him being able to play along with Nunu, who boosts his ability power and also allows him to farm both jungle and mid at the same time, and many people call this strategy a funnel strategy. So you're basically sacrificing some gold on one champion and trying to funnel as much gold to one champion in specific. And currently people are trying this strategy mostly with Karthus, Karthus plus Nunu, or Master E, most of the time Master E plus Taric. So it turns out that if you play Karthus jungle, it is pretty likely that you will actually crash the game. It is currently unknown what exactly causes this bug, but there are a few hypotheses of what can actually trigger this bug to happen. So we managed to get few screenshots, few videos of other people having the games crashed with Karthus and get some feedback from them, mostly in some of the Reddit threads. It has been pretty common that Karthus jungle actually managed to crash the game. And since I didn't explain what crash means in this case, is that basically you get the message attempting to reconnect, and then when you quit the game is done. The game is basically gone. That's what happens. It's not gonna be in your match history, it's not gonna be anywhere. If you are winning, then you are unlucky. If you are losing, then you are lucky. The game basically disappeared. This is why this bug is extremely game breaking, and the fact that it happened in Pro Play makes it just even more hilarious. But right now you are probably thinking, well, but there was a Taliyah in that Pro Play game, not a Karthus. Well, it turns out that it is pretty likely that it is exactly the same bug, but it can happen with those two champions separately. So this already is a warning sign. Something has to be wrong here. So we had few hypotheses of what can actually trigger this bug, and I'm gonna tell you some of them. And I'm gonna show you the Nightwind message on the screen right now of some things that we are able to find about this bug. we know that Taliyah and Karthus had to have the smite. It doesn't matter what items you have, it doesn't matter what runes you have, but what we think may be important is the trinket that we have. Because in all of the cases it seemed like Karthus had the blue trinket, and in the moment when Taliyah crashed, she had the red trinket. It seems that one crack camp is up at the time and the other one is taken. What's more, the ultimate of the jungler is on cooldown, as you can see also in Taliyah's case. The Drake is dead, and as far as I remember, in most of the games the team that crashed the game was ahead, and they also had some dragons. What's also important is that the jungler, the Karthus or Taliyah, has to have a lot of CS in order to be able to crash the game. And the other thing at the end here is that the jungler had his flash up. So as you may guess, we actually tried to recreate this bug. We actually tried it for the first time around 2 weeks ago with just Karthus. So we went Karthus versus other champion in a game and tried to crash it this way. So what we believed at the time was triggering the bug is actually if a team was trying to surrender, then the game was actually crashing. So imagine your team is ahead with Karthus, the enemy team is trying to surrender, but then the game crashes. Well, it turned out that surrendering doesn't matter and we actually didn't manage to crash this game. Yesterday we tried to crash the game 2 more times, so one game lasted 50 minutes and the other lasted over 70 minutes. And we actually did manage to crash the game, this one time in a 50-minute game. So I'm gonna show you this on the screen right now. So what's happening here is that I just took Elder as Taliyah. The Karthus is taking Baron in the Fog of War. I approach him, he kills the Baron, I kill him, he ults me, he W's me, and then I ult his dead body. And at the moment as my ult hits his dead body, or it travels just slightly bit further, the game crashed. You can see the attempting to reconnect message, but the thing is, we don't even know if it was Taliyah or Karthus that crashed the game, but we are aware that both of them can actually crash the game, so the fact that we managed to do it was already really satisfying. So as you may guess, we are like, oh, so if we try the same scenario, with Taliyah taking Elder and then Karthus killing Baron and then Taliyah killing Karthus and Karthus W and ulting the Taliyah and Taliyah ulting the dead Karthus body, we will recreate this bug. Well, no, we didn't. We tried it so many times, we tried it so many different ways, and after 70 minutes we pretty much gave up. We didn't manage to recreate this bug again. So today we decided to try one more time, another 1 hour game. This time I was Karthus and then Nightwind was playing the Taliyah, and we actually also added the bots. So the main reason we tried it again today is that we actually got more information from the Rioter. He said, we're still digging. One that we know is that the crash isn't being triggered by a specific game event. It's happening due to a slow creep over time. Something is slowly building up the severity of the issue until the server eventually just dies. This was actually the main reason we tried to recreate this bug one more time today. So we thought that we will add 4 bots on each side to try to make the server heavier, if you can say this way. So basically putting more objects in it and trying to crash the server easier. So after over an hour of trying to do everything that we could, we had so many speculations, we tried so many things, but what a surprise, we didn't actually manage to crash the game. So let's go back in time to this bug happening in LCS, and let's try to find out what could have happened. So as we can see, Huni actually ulted near the bot lane enemy inhibitor turret, then he took some damage and the game crashed. So basically at the moment of game crashing, or right before that, Ezreal Arcane shifted into his Taliyah wall that just expired. So maybe that's a meaningful thing. What's also important to note is Taliyah took a lot of damage in a short time, so this might be also another factor to consider. She was also slowed in this case, and this is what we actually tried to do. We tried so many things, exactly the same that they happened in the video. Yesterday we even had the Ezreal Arcane shifting in the dead Taliyah's wall. We had tried many slows on Taliyah, taking a lot of damage in short time, using ultimates on Karthus and Taliyah, trying to ult dead bodies, trying to ult enemies. We tried pretty much everything we could have. But it's pretty likely that there is something we don't know for now, and maybe Riot doesn't even know. So there is also one important thing that I didn't say, is that in all of the cases, in all of the games that crashed, for everyone as far as we remember with Karthus or Taliyah, is that they all had level 16, so it is possible that this is required to have level 16 Karthus with level 3 ultimate. And if it was the case for Karthus, it is pretty possible that it is the case for Taliyah too. What's also worth noting is that in the old Karthus bugs, in most of the games that people had the crashes actually happened between 30 and 33 minutes. So they didn't go as far as, for example, we had to go in order to crash the game. Maybe the creep score matters, maybe the creep score for team matters, or the creep score for a single unit matters. In the game that we managed to crash, at 50 so minutes we had like 600-700 CS both. So that might be one of the reasons that the server potentially got overloaded and it actually crashed. In one of the games, as Nightwind says, one of the Karthus games was actually crashed at 20 minutes, right after 20 minutes, but the Karthus already had 330 CS. So it might be one of the reasoning for it. And he still had level 17, so he still had the level 3 rank, so it may be crucial to have that, but we cannot be sure about that. Nowadays it's pretty rare that pro games actually crash, and even if they do, or there is a bug happening, Riot actually uses the chrono break system and they basically manage to rewind the game, but since the Karthus and Taliyah crashed the game completely, there is no way to recover that. Basically there is nothing saved, so you cannot recover something. The bug is completely game breaking, so if a bug breaks the game, well, it seems that there is nothing that you can do about it. And as Canon also suggests, this bug may be related to the bug that we had happening in one of our longer games. So we tried to go for 7-hour games, and I believe in one of the games at around 80 minutes or something like that, we managed to crash the game. So we used a bunch of ZZ rods and Sion was basically farming all minions and all ZZ rod voidlings. So either his creep score or him killing so many entities or just killing so many voidlings crashed the game. And it was also possible to crash the game yourself in practice tool if you did it properly. So what you did is you took smite, you went to Krugs, you kept resetting them, and after you killed them for like 40 minutes, but as far as I know you had to have overgrowth, so that's worth noting. After some point of killing those Krugs with overgrowth, you basically crashed the game. Maybe the numbers got crazy and something wasn't working, but it's really hard to say. There are so many unknowns in this bug and it actually boggles my mind. We tried so hard to recreate this bug, we managed to do it once, but we still have no idea how to do it properly, being 100% successful. So let me say one more thing. If you ever had Karthus or Taliyah game with smite that crashed the game and you happen to have a screenshot, or maybe you happen to have a replay of those last minutes, please send that to my replay box, vandiril88@gmail.com, and maybe that can actually help us recreate this bug. But we already saw so many comments and screenshots and still weren't able to recreate that. And as far as I know, the final thing is that in the games that crashed, there was no Infernal Drake. In the game that we actually managed to crash, there was also no Infernal. And in the 2 games that we managed to crash, there was Infernal Drake. So I doubt it has any meaning, but who knows, maybe it's somehow secretly related to Infernal Drake, even if that sounds crazy. So yeah, that's pretty much all we currently know. And that's pretty much the end of the video. So if you managed to survive till the end of the video, big thanks to you. And yeah, thank you guys a lot for supporting. If you want to, consider subscribing or maybe unsubscribing if you liked or disliked the video. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching guys, I really appreciate that, and have a great day.